remember the first time you saw a dinosaur?
Hey, Blue.
We don't really believe it. It's like a miracle. Something's coming.
It's the T-Rex. It's the T-Rex.
Stop! It's not a T-Rex.
Blue, come with me. You know you can't stay here.
Jurassic World, the island,
You're all right. Easy, girl.
all of that is in the past.
Am I dead? Not yet, kid.
I want to show you the future.
What is that thing?
They made it.
Blue. You need to get us out of here.
Yeah.
On this week's Ranked and Reviewed, we're reviewing Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Coming up. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our brand new episode of Ranked and Reviewed. I am your host, Tomye West. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, ALANNIS Maximus.
Greetings.
How you going, man?
Yeah, I am going good. I feel like it's Friday, but it's not, which is depressing. But that will make Friday better.
Yeah, it's only fucking like, what, Tuesday, man. You got a long way off.
Yeah. Fun times.
Well, that's all good, man, because we got a busy week coming up. We got a lot of shit coming up. Before we get into it, obviously, we're doing our Jurassic Park Ranked and Reviewed at the moment, and we are all the way up to nearly at the finish line with the second last installment, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, where now we're just waiting on Dominion to release on June 9th for us in Australia, which is when our review for that will go up also on the same day. Yeah, we're coming to the end of this series, and it's been a wild ride at least. But before we get into that, quickly, make sure that you subscribe, you like, and you share. It would help us out a bunch. And yeah, like we got a lot coming up. Like this Friday, we're doing a special one-off Ranked and Reviewed, which I think it's a little out of place for us, but it also makes a little bit of sense because we're going to do Jackass 4.5, which is coming to Netflix on the 20th for... so it'll be the 20th worldwide basically, but it's going to be, on like hit Australia on the 19th, like late at night. So we'll sort of like get it around 7:30, 8 o'clock. So we're going to do a Jackass 4.5 review on Friday night. It'll go up Friday night. It's kind of out of place because we didn't do the 2.5 and the 3.5, but I think that because it's a new release, it kind of gives us leeway as well with it being just sort of like a review that will probably won't rank it even towards the other movies. Maybe we could do the 0.5s at a later period and put the ranking together then or something. I don't know. We'll work it out.
Yeah.
And then we're also doing Uncharted next week, as we are going to have a break due to waiting for Jurassic World Dominion to hit. So we will be reviewing Uncharted next week. And then the week after that should be Dominion. Am I wrong, right?
I feel that's
Might be the
correct.
week after that, but we'll work it out. Anyways, enough of the chit chat, enough of the fucking the housekeeping, whatever. Let's get into it. Let's get straight into Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Now, this is sort of going to be our little overview first, just to give you a rundown of the movie. So, yep, Fallen Kingdom came out 2018. PG-13 with the runtime of 2 hours and 8 minutes. IMDb rating of 6.1 out of 10. It is directed by J.A. Bayona. Never heard of him. The writers are Derek Connolly, Colin Trevorrow, Michael Crichton. And and it stars Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Raphael Spall, and a bunch more. And yeah, it is. So I'll give you sort of like a rundown of the story. 3 years after the Jurassic World theme park was closed down, Owen and Claire returned to Isla Nublar to save the dinosaurs, where they learned that a once dormant volcano on the island is active. It is threatening to extinguish all life there. Along the way, Owen sets out to find Blue, his lead raptor, and discovers a conspiracy that could disrupt the natural order of the entire planet. Life has found a way again. So that's the synopsis for it. So that's kind of just a rough overview. We don't get into too much more details with our overview. It's just a rundown of some shit. Steven Spielberg co-produced it. Steven Spielberg co-produced it. I very much doubt he had it very much to do with this, if anything. But anyway, let's get straight into our thoughts. And like always, I like to let the Master Chief himself, the Xbox clan man himself, the tank that likes to wank, Alan, ALANNIS, go first. What are your thoughts on this, man?
I think more so like the movie, but there's also some things about the movie that some are just kind of, you throw away, it's a movie kind of things, but kind of bugged me anyway. And then there's some other things where it's like, I get you what you were doing, what you're going for, but
yeah. Hearing that, I'm going to be honest, because I'm wanting you to delve deeper in before I get into my thoughts, really. I'm just going to say one thing, which is that I actually enjoyed this movie a lot more than the first time I saw it, because the first time I saw it, I was so shitty at the ending of it that I was like, I'm not watching that again. You know what I mean? But now seeing where the new movie direction is going, I was able to find sort of like a happy ending for the first time. A happy ending, you know? I get those a lot, you know, but like, you know, I was finally able to see that ending in a different light, because my whole thing at the end of that was, where the fuck are they going now? You know what I mean? Like, we gonna fucking just go to, like, are these dinosaurs going to be sent to fight Martians? Like, this is getting ridiculous. Like, I don't know. It just seems so, like, unbelievable to me. But I guess when you thought
hopefully it's a prequel to Dino Riders.
It's, man, I should have been I feel like a really cynical moviegoer being that way coming out of that movie, because I should have thought, well, clearly, like, they've got a plan. You know what I mean? But, like, me being the cinema critic I was at that time, literally out loud said in the cinema, get fucked. Like, I was so mad, bro. Like, these like, I still got questions, so we're going to bring that up. What are your main concerns with the movie, man?
The ending, it was,
That's okay. We're just gonna have to get into this straight away, because it's really bugging me now. I just realized why I'm still mad. I am mad at the ending of this. You know why? Because how many dinosaurs did they ship to America? And now in Dominion, the planet's overrun with dinosaurs. Like, they could have gotten the Navy that showed up to save fucking nobody in the end of Jurassic Park 3. Like, all of those Navy ships came to save Sam Neill so he could promote more veal or whatever, but they can't go and get rid of these dinosaurs that are fucking overtaking the planet. And how many did they ship over there? Like 100 million. Like, what is going on? Like, is that a concern that you have? Is that one of the things you're thinking about here?
Then again, this is America as well. Like, that's the only thing that I'm like, no offense, I'm talking in general here, our American audience, but the whole, like, I could maybe see America going, she'll be right. Fuck. Like,
yeah, but also dinosaurs are cold-blooded, reptiles. So, or what? I get mixed up. Are they cold-blooded or warm-blooded?
Cold-blooded.
Yeah. So in the new trailer, we're seeing dinosaurs in the fucking snow, bro. Like, that makes literally no sense. They would be fucking dead. You know what I mean? So, like, there's a lot that still I think that this movie sets up poorly for the next movie, I guess. But I still found myself enjoying this movie a lot more than I did the first time. Especially sort of having more of an attachment to the dinosaurs themselves in this movie. Like, I saw this in the cinema, yeah, and when they're pulling away from the island and you see it like exploding and you see that one fucking like long neck like raise its thing and it's like basically like engulfed in flames, like, dude, that was like legit like sad, you know what I mean? You like felt sad that these dinosaurs were dying, like, and then you also felt a little more connected to like Blue and things like that, you know what I mean, being so like forefront of the like plot, I guess, you know. But this movie has a lot of problems, but I did find myself enjoying it a lot more than I did the first time. So I guess go a little bit more into depth of what you liked about it, maybe some other problems you had with it, and yeah.
One thing that annoyed me quite a few times was how fucking deadly lava is. Like, if you're that close to lava that like it's next to your head and you're rolling away from it, if you're not bursting into flames, the fucking sulfur and the gases coming off that, you're fucking dead. Like,
what I've got to say about that part though, which is I noticed this part too, was I really liked Chris Pratt's body movement, like how he like bent himself in a really fucking weird way to get away from that molten lava. Like, he did that part really well. Of course, it's an unbelievable feat, but it was really well. Like, he wasn't like just like a rollover. He was like pretty much like cartwheeling himself, like, you know, like to get out of there. What did you think about Chris Pratt's performance in this compared to the first? Did you think it was improved? Did you like the character more, or what?
I think I did, and some of his dialogue was interesting as well. Like, it was hard to tell if he was going for double entendres, but it was enough to make me go, huh? Like, in that one moment when he's first going off on the expedition with the bad dude, he's like, if I don't come back, just remember, you're the one that made me come. And just the way he delivered it, it's like...
Yeah, but then did you hear the line after that? You might not have heard it. He goes, nah, I'll be right.
Yeah.
I think he did a really good job in this movie. I think that he cemented himself as a part of the Jurassic Park franchise just as much as Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum have. Maybe even a little bit more, because the two movies have been, look, they've got their problems, but they are definitely better movies than The Lost World and Number 3, in my opinion. These two movies still are better than those two movies. So
I agree.
Me, like, Sam Neill and that cemented themselves in the first one, and like I feel like Jeff Goldblum's the one that cemented himself the most, just because he's like, I think he's been in most movies, hasn't he? Like 1, 2,
And
World,
the cameo on this one.
Fallen Kingdom, and then he's in the new one. So, I mean, I think what I'm liking about this is that you went into this not wanting to like it because you're sick of Chris Pratt's face on every motherfucking movie. And you're just like, why is this motherfucker in everything? And then I like that you're coming out of it with more of a like, I didn't mind Chris Pratt in these movies, you know what I mean? Which is cool, you know? Like, it's always good. And I still love Bryce Dallas Howard. I love it. I love her, man. Like, I don't know if I'm just very attracted to her, and I also think she's great. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Something about it. But what did you think about the whole island plot thing, like exploding? Because I think that was a pretty big oversight to be like, we forgot about the dormant volcano. You know, like, did you like think maybe to build on the other island that maybe doesn't have the volcano? Because Isla Nublar, like, there was Isla Sorna as well. Like, does that have a volcano? Maybe we could have avoided this whole thing just by changing islands. Like,
and there's still dinosaurs on that island.
Exactly, man. Like, I don't get.
Why didn't they just ferry the dinosaurs across to that island?
Dude, I didn't even think about this till now. What the fuck, man? Like, could that? Oh, okay. Now I'm mad. No, I'm joking. What are some other elements? Did you think? What I really love about this movie is the sort of gothic horror tone that it starts to take towards the end of the movie, where the dinosaurs are running through the pushing and like in the bed, and the hands coming like, oh, is my connection okay?
Looks alright.
Okay, cool. It just came up saying you're having connection problems, which is whack.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like, I love like the hand coming across like the bed. Like, I like the like. It's got lots of creepy sort of like shots, like cinematography. It's like, to me, it's sort of the most horror vibe out of all the Jurassic Parks.
Definitely. What was it? The Indoraptor?
Indoraptor. Yep.
It was an interesting one. I like
It is
the
a
whole horror element. Yeah. But it's I don't know. I didn't really like its death. I think that was, they played it off as this really intelligent dinosaur that was kind of going against the grain of what it was meant to be and was a prototype. The death felt a little bit cheap.
It did feel cheap, but it also felt like Blue had to win, and like you couldn't have ended it with Blue dying, because there would have been so many people like being like, what? And they're also not just that, the people that make the toys would have been like, hey, we need Blue to make toys. You know what I mean? So like, I like the Indoraptor a lot, but like there was some stupid things around that Indoraptor. Like, why would you walk into a cage and then be like, oh, you know what? This tooth would look good for my fucking collect. What is this dickhead doing in this cage, man? Like, and you just like, you deserve it. You just deserve it. And I love
it. Was a satisfying death too.
It was. They played it up too, which is what I love. Like, he's like trying to rip it out. I love how the dinosaur's like playing like asleep. You know what I mean? Like, just waiting for him. Yeah. And very gruesome death too. Like, I'd probably put that at one of the most gruesome deaths in all of the series.
That, and is it Wheatley, the rich entrepreneur wanky guy that's kind of doing it all?
Yeah. That dude, I love that, how he shuts the lift and he thinks he's all good, and then the fucking thing just opens up again. Oh, and dude, the part I love the most that makes me laugh out loud is that fucking butting head dinosaur just butting everyone in the auction, and they're just flying through the fucking air.
He's my spirit animal, that dinosaur.
Dude, I loved it. It was just like this dinosaur was like, yeah, fucking old butt. Get the fuck out my way. You know what I mean? Like, it's so good.
It's all your fault. Every one of you.
I love that. I love that dinosaur too. That was really cool. But yeah, like, it's really hard, man, because as I said, when I first saw this movie, I was really like not impressed with the ending, but I really enjoyed the rest of it and stuff like that. And what we look like we're getting from Dominion, we watched that Legacy trailer where they sort of like have behind the scenes talk with the director and all that, and he says like, this is like the culmination of everything. Obviously it's the end, but this is also going to be one scary monster movie, you know what I mean? So I'm wondering if it's going to be even upped more for this finale, and I'm kind of hoping it is. I'm kind of hoping that they really go all out, because look, we can't say that these movies are super intelligent and like they've got like this like geniuses behind this script that are like, no, but like if you think about DNA and all this shit, like these people are just like, as I said, not these movies as such, but with Jurassic Park 3, it was kids just mashing toys together going, "Roar!" You know what I mean? So like these movies, plotty, very silly at points, like stuff that doesn't make sense, like things we didn't bring up in the first Jurassic World movie, which we probably should have, which is they've got 3D like technology, they got all this technology, but yet every time they go to use the walkie-talkies or shit or talk to each other in the park, he's in there with you. It's like they can't even get their radio receptions right. What the fuck is going on in this park? You know what I mean? So like there's a few things that in the hot like just don't make sense in these movies. But what we can say is that if you're going to go this far into like Whackville and like start bringing dinosaurs to auctions and like create these Indoraptors and all this nonsense, let's go all the way with it at the end. Like, let's go all the way silly, you know, if we're going to do that. Like, I prefer to have a fun movie and make it a bit silly and enjoyable rather than a boring, long fucking shit piece movie like Jurassic Park 3 was, even though it wasn't long. You know what I mean? Like, these movies just look, it's not really going to be a spoil. I'm looking forward to seeing where Alan does put this movie, but I know for a fact that he's going to put it above the Lost World and number 3. I don't know where he's going to put it above those though, but there's no way you can tell me, Alan, that this movie is worse than those.
No way. The second, The Lost World, I saw it and then I felt no need to ever see it again. And then when I watched it, I'm like, that's why.
There was literally one scene in that movie that I like, which is the velociraptors coming through the grass, the top view. That I would just watch that scene. But to sit through that movie again and again, like, no, thank you. Like, there is very little redeeming stuff in that movie that makes you drawn to it. Like, as I said, Jeff Goldblum just doesn't nail the main role part, and it all feels a little bit. It almost feels like when Toy Story was made by Pixar, yeah, and Toy Story 2 came out a year later, but was made by someone else, but was under the guide of Pixar, and that's how they managed to poop one out so quickly. That's almost what The Lost World felt like they did, but it wasn't. It was like much later. You know what I mean? So like, nearly no excuse. And then like, The Lost World wasn't terrible, where it was like, you're doing this, like, you know. But then you get to Jurassic Park 3, and I was sitting there going, like, stop, just please end, you know. And look, we had some comments, may as well address it in the video. We had some comments saying, you know, our reviews are getting aggressive, sort of a little like nasty-ish, like we've got a lot more anger behind us, a little bit more like, we're not trying to be, as we said, I've said in a review before, we don't go into any movie wanting to hate a movie. We want to go in and have a good time, whatever we see. But when a movie as insulting as Jurassic Park 3 comes along and ruins something that was so important to my childhood and a lot of other people's out there, like, I was literally mad. And we're not trying to be more aggressive. We're not trying to push buttons. We're not trying to say shit to cause people to be like, that was a bit inappropriate. Like, this is just how it is. Like, we're either happy in a movie or we're not, or we're mild, but when we're not happy and like not happy, I'm not going to fucking hide it. And some people might even say that our suicide joke, which, look, for anyone that hasn't seen it, Alan had the Jurassic Park 3 ringtone, and I pretended when he started to ring that ringtone, myself in my pillowcase and hang from my ceiling. Of course, suicide isn't funny. Suicide is horrible, and I know people that have committed suicide before, and it's terrible, but just doing a joke doesn't make the joke as bad as the thing you're talking about. It all depends on the joke. So it's up to you if you want to think it's funny or not, but we're not going to say sorry because it was an innocent joke. And the moment we start apologizing for that shit, we're just going to have to apologize for the next thing that someone's not happy about. So we don't take back anything, but we are not trying to be negative. And I hope you can see that with this review, with me coming in and saying, look, it has its problems, but it was fun. And it wasn't boring. It didn't outstay its welcome. And you kind of wanted to see where it kept going. And you didn't walk out of this movie going, oh my God, dude, that was bad. You know what I mean? Like,
that was 2 hours I'm never getting back.
Exactly. So we're not trying to be negative. We're just trying to be honest. And I was so insulted again by Jurassic Park 3 that was just my general anger towards what they'd done. You know, Tia Leone, what have you done? Like, you know. So look, we hope that everyone's still enjoying our reviews. And as we said, we're not trying to make harsh jokes against anyone, and we're just making jokes. And if you don't find them funny, we're sorry. Anyways, back to the movie. Were there any dinosaurs you think sucked? Was there any moments you think sucked, like with dinosaurs? Because I know you're like the look, man, I'm like, I like the one with the long neck and the T-Rex, and you're like, I like the fucking, and you like know their names and shit. And I'm just like, is that the one that like eats leaves, or is that the one that will chew your face off? You know, like, so like, was there any like dinosaurs, like being a dinosaur sort of like actual like history fan, I guess, like not like knowing a little bit more about dinosaurs and what they were really like, I guess. What would you say you liked and didn't like with these dinosaurs?
There wasn't much I didn't like. I think the end scene, not the end scene, the end of the island kind of part of the movie, where all the dinosaurs running and you're having all like the meat eaters appear trying to get to the sphere. I really like how they threw in. There's the one that the T-Rex fights. I think it's meant to be a Carnotaurus, and then you see an Allosaur kind of running along trying to get into the ball. And it's like, hey, yeah.
I really like that bit when they're like coming out of that like hole, and then they're like getting up and they look up and it's like explosion, and Chris Pratt's just running out, run, run! Like, that's a really cool part. And I like how you see all the little dinosaurs that like chewed that girl apart at the start of the other movie, and they're just like running. You're like, oh, poor dinosaurs, even though they chew my face off, poor dinosaurs. But what did you think about the sort of like character progression from Bryce Dallas Howard in the first movie to like now? Because in the first movie she was corporate, sort of didn't have much sympathy or respect for the dinosaurs as actual creatures, kind of looked at them as like science lab experiments and money makers. And then it's kind of like a full like 180 at the start of this movie where she's like pretty much like doing a save the dinosaurs fucking like charity thing, you know what I mean? Like, and what did you think about her sort of sidekick that she brought along with her, like sort of like what the dinosaur medic girl or whatever?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the I can't remember his name, but the tech dude more. Like his terrified sissy screaming was just perfect.
Dude, he was in Detective Pikachu, yeah, and he's really good. Like, he's a really good actor, and he was really funny in it too. I really like how he's like trying to climb up the ladder. He's like, "We made it," and then the ladder slides down again and shit. Yeah, he was really good in it. What did you? I thought that the little girl was a little odd. The British young girl.
Yeah.
The way she delivered her lines, that sounded very acted. It wasn't natural whatsoever. Like, there was a part where she was in like the room with her grandpa, and she was like, talking about something. Like, it was like when she just like finished scaring the maid or whatever, and then she went up and talked, and she said a line where it was like just completely robotic almost. I was like, that was really weird. So, but I think that she kind of pulled it together towards the end. Like, you grew to like her a little bit more. It's a kind of a weird twist with her though, isn't it? Like that.
Yeah.
Experiment, like.
I kind of ruined that for myself as well, because I had I tuned out for a very brief moment, and then when you had the scene with her grandpa, Lockwood, how they're talking about Wheatley, and he's like, go to bed, and then he kind of pushes the thing back into his book. I'm like, don't be evil, I like you. But it was the photo that he's pushing back in, so I'm like, no, did I miss something? And I've Googled it, like, is Lockwood evil? And it's like, it mentions it's a clone, and I'm like, I just spoiled a twist for myself.
What really rubbed me the wrong way with that whole plot, with like this guy that's like doing shady shit with these dinosaurs behind this dude back in his own house. Like, if we like think back to the first movie, when the T-Rex is nowhere in sight, and we haven't seen it yet, but you can hear it stomping and it's shaking the water and shit. You mean to tell me that they shipped in 50 dinosaurs that probably all make that much noise when they stomp, and this guy lying up in his fucking bedroom couldn't hear this going on down there? It's like, I don't know, man. That just seems like a bit of a stretch. Like, and also, how fucking far down was that place? Like, did they like tunnel to the center of the earth so this cunt couldn't hear it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like,
pro level sound dampening.
And dude, I didn't like that he had to go out by the pillow.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, I feel like he was almost like he wasn't evil. He wanted that person back. He cared for her a lot. They obviously loved each other. She loved him as a grandpa. You know what I mean? Like, he was obviously not a bad dude. You know what I mean? He just missed somebody and had the technology to create it. But, like, you never fucking felt like he was, like, the bad guy. You knew that the dude that was, like, running the shit for him while he's sick in bed is the bad guy. You know what I mean? And he shows that in the moment just before he dies, where he's like, you fucked up. That's the stupidest thing. You call the police. It'll sound better coming from you. Sorry, man. I'd be like, I'm calling the police because you fucked up, bro. But yeah, like, I don't know. There's so many plot points to speak about in this movie. Like, whether it's like the side story of the DNA, whether it's like now that Chris Pratt and fucking Bryce Dallas Howard have suddenly obviously fostered this kid now. Wonder how that's going to go in the next movie. You know what I mean? And yeah, like, what about how harsh that was to let that nanny go the way he did? He's just like, it's over. The struggle's done. So I guess you'll be finished up now, won't you? Like, what the fuck? He died like 10 seconds ago, so I guess you'll be on your way. The buses are pulling up. And
I'll call you on over. Off you go.
Yeah, like, dude. And she was like, "No, I'm gonna be here for whatever her name is." And he's like, "I'm here for her now. See you later, Mary Poppins." Take your fucking umbrella and fly out of you, man. Like, but yeah, like, so I mean, any more thoughts on, like, was there anything you really thought about that you liked a lot, and anything else you didn't like? Because I pretty much thought, about it really hard. I do like the fact that, like, the what's the Asian scientist guy's name again? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
How he's like, this is like this this velociraptor's like purebred, and she's like, no, he isn't. And he's like, what do you mean? I put everything into this dinosaur. And she's like, oh, no, I just did a blood transfusion with the T-Rex. So it's kind of fucked now. You know what I mean? Like, I like that element. Like, there's a lot going on in this movie. And yeah, I think I was a bit too harsh on it the first time I saw it, just not knowing where the direction it was going. But I'm just really hoping that the direction it does go in is a hell of a ride and kind of like puts our main plot concerns with this, like, how many dinosaurs did they bring over and how did it populate, like, how did it spread in population so much and shit? Like, I hope there's a good answer to that in this movie.
I feel there'll have to be some kind of twist. Like, well, we've seen in the trailer that Blue has eggs and she's the only raptor at this point. So,
yeah,
maybe, well, I don't know, they're asexual now.
It's weird too because we watched it. You know what? This is probably relevant. Let's bring up the new trailer for the new movie right now because maybe maybe we've missed over something in the trailer that might give us an answer to some of our concerns now. You know what I mean? Like, because I've just watched it with a fresh take. Maybe we'll notice things now with a fresh take that we didn't notice when the first time we watched it and stuff. I think it's kind of relevant. I wouldn't usually doing this, but let's do it. Let's fucking check it out and see if we can kind of work it out, We want Dominion, obviously. Where are we? Shh. Because, man, I feel like I've seen the trailer many times, but I don't think I've thought about it from, like, where it ended to, like, where it's going, Like, Blue ran away. That's what I mean. Blue ran away.
Blue, you had a
Wait,
baby.
hold on.
That's impossible.
Sorry.
Hey, girl.
Wrong window. 1 sec, man.
You look just like your mother.
So, yeah, this is like, okay. So, Blue's like with him, yeah, in this new trailer. Didn't, like, Blue choose to, like, fuck off and run away? Like,
Yeah, she just fucked it off.
All right, so let's go back. Let's start this again.
Blue, you had a baby.
Well, there you
That's
go, baby.
Hey, girl.
You look just like your mother.
I promise you I am going to get her back.
been unleashed.
We made a terrible mistake.
The doomsday clock might be about out of time.
If our world's gonna survive, what matters is what we do now.
I can use your expertise.
You coming or what?
A baby raptor? I made a promise we would bring her home.
You made a promise to a dinosaur.
Yeah. One.
Everybody hold on to somebody. That can't be right. What is that?
Biggest carnivore the world has ever seen.
See? Not so bad.
All right, so what I got from that, man, is that we're just going fucking full blown fucking in, and you know what? I'm down for it, bro. I'm fucking down. Let's fucking, if it's gonna go silly, let's do it, man. Like, fucking, that literally looks like they like are out in the middle of a cabin in the middle of nowhere, and Blue in the how in the whole of America did it be like, like, oh, Blue. Hey, you living in Las Vegas? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot this movie is throwing at me with like, I'm like going to be sitting in the screen like this.
Do we know what the runtime of it is?
The new one? I'll check it out, man. I'll have a look. Oh,
I
actually, we reported on it. We did report on it. It's actually going to be the longest. So it's 2 hours and 26 minutes. Which is a whole 22 minutes longer than the last or something. And what's your opinion on the IMDb rating to the 6.1?
I think it's rough. It was definitely more than a mediocre movie to me. I'm not sure why.
I just want to compare that quickly to I can't remember the IMDb for Jurassic Park 3, but if that has a higher score, I lose faith in humanity. Thank God, man. Thank God. It's not far off, but thank God it's worse. It's a 5.9. So we're all right. But still, to even put that, do I do it again, man? Do I make the audience upset again, man?
Well, they've done us. That's okay. It's okay. We don't have to snap off the population. They got the review okay.
I'm really excited for the new one, man. I really have enjoyed doing this ranked and reviewed a lot. I think that it's been one of the most fun just because these movies really are diverse with the way people look at them. Like, some people really like Jurassic Park 3, man. And like, while I can't wrap my fucking head around that, it is the case. And usually it's pretty, okay, say for Back to the Future, which we're going to do one day soon. It's pretty cut and dry with most people which order they like those movies in the most. Like, you know, like the general population goes, well, most people would go like Back to the Future 2, Back to the Future 1, Back to the Future 3. Or, you know, like, it's pretty similar. Like, Indiana Jones, everyone's like, oh, well, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is the worst. You know what I mean? It's like, there's always a generalization. Whereas I feel like Jurassic Park doesn't have that.
Yeah, there are a lot of people out there that like the third one. I don't know how.
And the Lost World.
Yeah, it's yeah. I think some of the people, and I don't mean that to poo-poo on taste, but I think some people just see it from a simpler point of view and go, "Pow, dinosaurs!"
That's exactly what we were talking about, which is that Jurassic Park 3 came from that era where everyone was just like, more special effects. You know what I mean? And it kind of didn't age well. So, I mean, look, I'm going to go with that. I really like this movie. I would probably, as I said, it's definitely above Lost World and number 3 for me. Anything you want to say in your closing thoughts before we get into some trivia?
Is there anything else? No, I think that's...
I got one more thing to say. I really like the speech that Jeff Goldblum gives at the end, and the way he delivers that "Welcome to Jurassic World," and it just ends. You know what I mean? Like, his delivery of all that was really good. Like, how many times do we have to be proven wrong? Like, how many times? Like, so
that is in the underlying. Well, fuck.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good, fun movie. And if you haven't seen it, or, I'm sure if you're tuning into this, you have seen it, or you intend to see it, I'm guessing, or maybe not. Maybe you just want to hear opinions on this movie. But if you haven't seen it, and you want a good time, and you're not trying to look into a movie that's going to be, like, for really deep meaning, like, it's a good popcorn action flick that it's definitely a good Jurassic Park movie compared to the previous installments, except for World before this one, So, I don't know. Yeah, we'll get into some trivia before we get into a discussion of where we're ranking it and all that sort of things. Moving on to trivia. Let's go. Let's have a look at some trivia. We had some interesting trivia from the Jurassic Park 3 one. That was funny, man. Like, all the ideas all the ideas were leftover ideas from the last movies, which means we probably shouldn't have made this fucking movie, but whatever. All right, so, God damn it, man. Look, it's so annoying. You look up Jurassic World in IMDb and you don't finish typing, let it auto come up, and it's like Jurassic World, The Lost World, Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, Jurassic World Evolution 2, Jurassic World The Ride. Hey, where's the rest of the movies? You know what I mean? All right, so trivia for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Trivia. Here we go. Sam Neill was asked if he would return to the franchise as Dr. Alan Grant and responded, "You never say never, but I think it's moved on. It's different times." He was later cast in the second sequel of the new trilogy, Jurassic World Dominion. 5 animatronic dinosaurs were created for this movie, unlike Jurassic World, which only featured 1. More animatronics were used due to the many various and closer interactions actors had with the dinosaurs. One scene was with Bryce Dallas Howard, when Bryce Dallas Howard rode atop the sedated T-Rex. In an interview with Vulture, Jeff Goldblum said that he does not mind at all when he gets asked to essentially play himself on the big screen. People write Jeff Goldblum parts and they want me to do them, and that's fine. He said, "I think I can do a better version of it." So no, this little Jeff Goldblum round that I'm hoeing is still adventurous. He's just like, "Yeah, gonna be me." So, screenwriter Colin Trevorrow said about the Rexy Roberta, "We've been following this same character since the beginning. She's the same T-Rex that was in Jurassic Park in 1993 and in Jurassic World in 2015. She is iconic, not just because she's a T-Rex, but because she is this T-Rex." So you were right, Alan, that the scratches on the T-Rex were from the original movie.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that Isla Nublar is actively volcanic was noted in the first novel. And it seems approximately 30 years later, this detail finally becomes a plot relevant in dramatic fashion. We'll read a couple more. The blue animatronic was created to lie down on a table depicting an animal's injured state, while the character of Zia operated on the creature. Up to 12 puppeteers hidden under the operating table were needed to control the animatronics during filming. And we'll do one more. At around 1 hour, Owen diving through Rexy Roberta's open mouth when she wakes up from her drugged state in the cargo container before she can bite him in half was Chris Pratt's idea. Okay. Bryce Dallas Howard learned to scuba dive for the scene where the gyroscope sinks into the water. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. I didn't know this. What? Bro, first movie in the Jurassic Park franchise to have a post-credit scene.
I noticed that.
What is it?
Last night when I watched it.
What is it?
I didn't rewind it, but I kind of went, oh, what? It was
I'm gonna look.
Some flying dinosaurs doing their flying around thing and landing.
Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom ending, and we go. Nah. Doesn't look like I've even got it up here.
Yeah, it wasn't really groundbreaking or important, I don't think.
No. You know what I do like the look of though, even though it's kind of weird, is that fucking new dinosaur that like has like the pink feathers that swims and shit in the new trailer. That looks pretty fucking cool, man.
Well, there's going by what they know, and I mean, paleontology is kind of
rough,
guesswork, I think.
Yeah.
But most recent ideas with raptors is that they were feathered.
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently, like, there's a chance that even T-Rexes could have been a little bit feathered because they had like the little bird arms. You know what I mean? And like, apparently that's like they just don't have the wings. You know what I mean? Like, but maybe I don't know, man. As I said, these dinosaurs could have been pink, orange, and shit. Like, you have no idea. Like, we're just going by like, oh, I'm guessing they were like turtles and shit. You know what I mean? Like. So, yeah, that's the trivia for that one. And that brings us to the ranking. Now, the current ranking looks like this. ALANNIS' ranking. Number 1, Jurassic World. Number 2, Jurassic Park. Number 3, The Lost World. Number 4, Jurassic Park 3. My ranking, Jurassic Park, number 1. Jurassic World, number 2. The Lost World at number 3. And Jurassic Park 3 at number 4. Now, Alan, you know what to do. Type your ranking into the chat, and I will correct this.
I can do that.
Give me a second because oh no, I think I got it here. Right? Yep. No,
I'll try and multitask, but I do suck at it. So,
it's always feeling good. It always feels good and accomplishing when we get this far into like a ranking, you know?
It does. It gets interesting. I'm always curious.
I see what you've done there. Okay, I'm going to correct that now. I think that's a fair order you put it in.
Yeah. Well, while we're doing this as well, I do think this was probably my favorite opening. I really enjoyed where they're trying to get the Indominus bone.
Yes, I didn't even think about that. Where they're like the little submarine, and then like the guy's like on the thing, and he's like, what, and then he runs, and then he's on the fucking helicopter thing, and he's going to get away, and then it just goes, whoop, and fucking that's awesome. That is a cool opening, man. That is a really cool opening. It kind of had like the Nedry scene vibes from the first movie in that. Did you feel that?
Absolutely.
All right, so I am just about ready to unveil.
I mean, humans must taste real good to these dinosaurs as well, because they're all over us any chance they get. It's like, I don't want to eat another dinosaur. I'm eating that thing.
Yeah, well, you know what, man? I'm gonna put a kink in the chain with this review because guess what? My rankings changed, man.
Ah.
Doing a little thinking. And you know what? You're gonna trip when you see. Here we go. I'm ready to bring it up. You're going to be like, oh, it's weird. I used a different logo for your Lost World and my Lost World. But you know what? People get the idea. Here we go. We're bringing it in. 1 second. Get ready for it, Alan. Get ready for the moment. And the new ranking so far goes.
Oh,
We are even, Stevens, boy.
hey. This is unprecedented.
This is. Usually one of us walks away in anger or disappointment in the other person.
You see, even the odd couple can get along, agree sometimes.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a woman. So, yeah, that's the ranking. Like, I'm really excited now to see where Dominion goes now. I'm really pumped for this movie, man, because like leading up to this, I was not that excited. And then rewatching these movies and doing this has kind of made me really amped for it. It's like what happened for us with Scream, where we were just like not giving a shit. And then suddenly we're like, let's do it. And it turned out to be the best fun ever. Like, that's still one of my favorite ranking, like review series we've done, because just the like level of like things you can like pick out from those movies, be like, oh, what? Like, oh, I never noticed that and shit. You know what I mean? Like how you can tell which killer is which killer, and like it was such a fun series. And I feel like this was kind of being similar.
Definitely.
What was the last big ranking one we got? I'm already a fucking mind block. That was we did Indiana Jones. We did what was Jackass? We've done Scream. We
started on the Batman.
That's right. That's what we're doing. So yeah, like I definitely enjoyed this more than the Batman one so far. Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to the second half of the Batman reviews we're going to do.
I'm looking forward to Barbie.
Yeah, like for people that think we're joking, when that Barbie movie comes out, we're seeing all 47 Barbie movies.
And then there's another one coming with Margot Robbie, so
that's what I'm talking about. When that one's released, we're ranking all 47 Barbie movies or whatever it is, mate.
Nearly a year of Barbie just for you guys, like.
Well, it's going to be crazy when we're going to do the Halloween movies later this year, bro, because there's so many of them that we're going to have to start in like fucking August.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's an interesting sort of a thing that we got to there, because, you know, we had different rankings, and then I did decide that I do like Jurassic World more than Jurassic Park, but I think that may just be the fact of overdoing it. Do you feel the same, where you've seen that movie just that many times, get a new, fresher take on it that you enjoyed, kind of felt like you're like, I like this more, but it may be just because you were like, it's stale. You know what I mean? I've overkilled that movie.
I think that could be the factor.
Because I feel like that with Jurassic Park, which is like, I love it, and it was such a big important part of my childhood, but that is the reason why I couldn't really probably sit through it again and again, because it's like, I did that movie to death as a kid, bro. Like, I overwatched that hundreds of times. So that's when I realized that I was like, wait, I think I do like World better, but it may just be the fact that I just ran the first one into the ground. You know what I mean? So, but there will be something always special about the first movie. Like, it definitely was the most grounded with the DNA sort of stuff, and the like, you could see what that DNA and like that being a possibility possibly in the future of maybe this is how we can actually get dinosaurs back and shit. But like, as the series has progressed, like it's become like, no, there's no way we're auctioning dinosaurs off anytime soon. You know what I mean? No. So but anyways, that was our second last episode of Jurassic Park ranked and reviewed. We are at the home stretch. We only have to wait another 3 weeks or so, and we will have the finale of this series. As we said, next week we are doing Uncharted. So that'll be out Wednesday next week. this Friday, another episode of Ranked and Reviewed will be out later at night for Jackass 4.5. And also, a new episode of the Louder Pop Culture Podcast will be out Thursday this week too. So it's a stacked week. It'll continue to be stacked because we got a lot coming up. And yeah, we hope you guys are enjoying the content because we're having a lot of fun doing it and progressing. And we hope we're not upsetting too many people with our ignorant, shitty jokes. We love you all. We appreciate you all. And if we have upset any of you with our jokes, as I said, I'm not going to apologize for it because once we start apologizing, we have to apologize for everything. But just know that that's not our intention. We're not here to upset you. We're just trying to put light on a situation in the only way we know how. When the movie's shit and it made me want to bang my head against the wall, I didn't mean to say I would rather jump off a bridge or something. You know what I mean? But that's the way it comes across. So anyways, as always, I'm your host, Tomye West. As always, the guru. I'm just trying to come up with new names for you. The sex bot, ALANNIS Maximus. That's my co-host, ALANNIS Maximus. And remember, a subscriber a day keeps the doctor away.
Or keeps the Clooney away.
Oh, no. I'm here to... welcome to Jurassic World. Yeah. We still got one to give away for that. We'll sort that out. We've given one away. Someone claimed with the first one. Maybe we'll do another draw sooner for that one. Yeah. Maybe we'll do it next week. We'll see what happens. Anyways, thank you, everyone. And we will see you on the next review or podcast. Peace.